In life, you really only have two choices as a man. It's to either be a spectator or be the player that's in the game. The player that's in control. The player that dictates your own outcomes. The player that has full control over his own outcomes and his results. I know what I would choose. I would choose to be the player in the game, right? I'd choose to be off the bench. I'd choose to be in the match, per se, right? Being able to control the outcome, right? I remember when I was younger in my football playing days, for those who don't know, I used to play football at a decent level. And I remember this was actually for my school football team, where the level was a bit lower, of course, than the club football, which I was also playing at the same time, which was pretty crazy looking back at it. It was like a lot of football every single week. But for the school football, I remember I got injured one time. And it was a stupid injury, but I was out for like 2 to 3 weeks, which was enough to miss out on a few matches, right? And I remember going up to my school football match to watch because I was the captain of the football team. I wanted to support them and only made sense, right? And this was actually against at the time, it was the worst or the second worst team in our league that season. And I remember not being able to play, obviously, and watching us basically struggle against the second or arguably worst team in the league at that stage. And we actually ended up losing. Which was very unlike us because we were at that time the best in that specific season in that league. And I couldn't help but like blame myself basically for that defeat. Not in an arrogant way or anything like that, but I just knew that it could have been a different outcome if I was in the game and if I was able to dictate the game, right? Able to put my own influence on the game. So I felt powerless as a spectator there. I felt like no matter what happened, it was out of my control. And yeah, I was pissed. I was annoyed that we lost, and everyone was. But what made me even more annoyed was the fact that I was a spectator. I literally had zero influence on the game, apart from a few motivating words at halftime and shouting from the sidelines. Zero control, zero influence. And that, my friends, is basically a life lesson for life. Is like, if you're a spectator, if you just watch things happen in your life, if you are just someone who follows people, you're just someone who's like a leaf in the wind, you're going to end up in a place where you probably deep down don't want to end up in, because you're not seizing life by the hands, right? You're letting outside circumstances essentially dictate the outcome of your life. And do you want that? Serious question. Do you actually want that? Probably not, right? So my question to you is, why not be the main character of your life, right? Why not be the player, the main player, the MVP of your life, right? The guy who's just putting in the work, who's controlling everything, who's seizing life by the hands, and as a result gets what he wants out of life. And yes, it's harder. 100% it's harder, right? That's why most people are in fact spectators in life. But I can tell you, if you want to get everything that you desire out of life, whatever that is, whatever that looks like for you, because I understand that can be different from person to person. Understand that you're not going to get it by just being a spectator, being someone who's a follower, who doesn't think for himself, who doesn't do what he wants and knows what he needs to do deep down, right? Because no one's going to come and save you. It's not going to be your boss that's going to make you successful. Very, very rare, right? It's not going to be your parents. It's not going to be your friends. It's not going to be your family that's going to come out with a reaching hand and make your life amazing all of a sudden. No, that's all up to you. It's all up to you to make that change. It's all up to you to understand that, look, life is hard as a man. And if you want to actually succeed and achieve stuff that the point 1%, only the 0.1% of men can achieve in this life. You need to be exceptional, right? And that all starts by putting yourself in a position where you have control over your life, right? Putting yourself in a position where you're the person that has all the influence of your results, your progress, and all that good stuff. So you may be asking yourself, like, how can you go from being just a spectator, like a passive character in life, an NPC of the world? You don't want to be an NPC, trust me. It's not fun. How can you go from that to being a man of value, a man that like is actually controlling stuff, right, in life, is making shit happen, is making moves, is the leader, right? People are actually looking up to him and following him because he's stepped up to the stage and is now a player that people know is going places, right? How do you actually make the shift? Well, first things first is understanding that, of course, you get nowhere by being just a plain spectator. And secondly, it's by understanding that it doesn't happen instantly. It happens on a micro scale, on the daily habit scale. Like, what are you doing? What are your daily habits like? Are you, first off, being proactive with your days rather than reactive? Let me explain that a bit more. Are you basically scripting out your days? Are you creating to-do lists for your days, power tasks, which I like to call, which are tasks that if you complete every single day, you know you're going to be making great progress every day. And on a weekly basis, even more progress. On a monthly basis, even more than that. And on a yearly basis, like massive progress. Are you being proactive with that? With your daily habits, with your execution tasks? If you're not already, well, it's probably because you're more on the spectator side of things and you're just kind of reacting to life happening at you. No, we want life to react to what you do, right? What you're doing on a daily basis. That's what the guys that are in the game do, right? So be proactive, not only with, of course, your habits, but with everything else in life, right? With your relationships, with how you approach your business, with just all these different nuances and elements of life. You want to be the guy who's initiating stuff, okay? Rather than waiting for things to happen. And this, talking about leveling up as a man and all that, which is the main purpose of this, of my YouTube channel, which, by the way, if you want to really like level up big time as a man, I can only recommend you to actually check the link in the description, which will basically bring you to a page which explains a lot more about my private inner circle members networking group, which isn't only a male self-improvement community and group, but it's really a mentorship community with myself working very closely with yourself, but also all the other members holding each other accountable. And there's also another section of it, which is wealth creation, which is me basically teaching you how to make at least 5 to 8K a month from the power of faceless pages on social media and a few other businesses which I'm into. But that is basically the core of it. So if you're a man looking to level up not only your character and also make money online and achieve great freedom, check the link in the description. That's enough for the shameless plug. Back to my topic. So if you're, as I say, you're watching this video because you want to level up as a man, right? You wouldn't have clicked on it if not. And not only does this like help you just achieve more stuff in your life, like doing this, right, going from spectator to being a key player in your life, it also just helps so much in terms of your personality, being more charismatic, being more confident, because you're now the person who like understands exactly what he wants, who understands that, look, he is the guy that's in charge of his life, right? He's the guy that initiates stuff. He's the guy that will talk to that woman if he wants to talk to that woman and initiate a great relationship. He's the guy that will come up with a great idea for a trip, a holiday for a few of his friends to go on and create amazing memories, right? He's the guy that will just make things happen, right? He's the guy that will reach out to a potential client and get them on a phone and close them, right? And make a really, really good win-win partnership out of it, right? And so this is all stuff that a leader, a a guy who achieves stuff in life does, right? You don't achieve success without that stuff. So just get that in your mind, right? Like, enough of being passive in life, and the more you delay it, the harder it's gonna be to actually get out of this like spectator mode. Okay, so I really urge you watching this video to understand this concept. Enough of being a spectator. It's really boring being on the bench just filling up the water bottles, right, for your team. You don't want to do that. You want to be the main player of your team. You want to be the captain. You want to be the player, or one of the top 3-5 players of the team that that if that team loses that player, it's going to be looking very, very bad, because they're just that good. They just hold that much influence over the match, right? This is just for the sports analogy, right, of the football analogy. But you can apply this analogy to quite literally everything in life, okay? So that's that for this video. See you in the next one. I'm going to enjoy this coffee and probably conjure up some ideas for a few more valuable YouTube videos for you guys. Cheers.